think in order to make things run more effectively, I mean, we shorten a lot of the things that we talk about. Like, instead of saying pepperoni, you just say pep. And I feel like, a lot of the stuff that I'm drawing, like, to answer your questions, are coming from me being on pies. And they're like running first board. You don't want to tell somebody, like, I need you to make a large pepperoni sausage bacon pizza. You say, like, pep sauce bacon. Give it. Like, bam. Here you go. And I don't know. I think being able to abbreviate our language makes things run more efficiently, like much more quickly. Because especially during a rush, you need things to go like bam, bam, bam.
It really does tie into that sort of language has been here for a very long time. The language has been here when I got here 7.5 years ago. The language was here when my first boss, Mike Davis, he got here almost 20 years ago. And it probably even started here when the owners opened up Dion's. It's very important because that's the culture we embed in people, and that's what Dion's originates itself with, basically. So.
I would imagine, like, the corporate people were like, let's figure out how to make things run efficiently, and then establish the rules with, like, their, I don't know.
Came from the owners. I think just people, when they create a business, they really do make it their own, and they bring in their own words, and people who are educated differently bring in their own words. And so I think Bill and John, who went to amazing schools probably, you know, up north where they came from, Montana or something like that they embedded a certain language down here in their own company. And so it started with them, and it's continued. So we call business a rush. You know, like, oh, be careful of the rush. You know, we've got to stay ahead of the rush. But it's really the business that we have to stay ahead of. Now that I'm a training assistant, I train the new employees on their first day. And I always use the language that we use in the back, I use with them. And letting them know, well, this is what you're going to see. And so people, from their very first day they come in, are implemented with that language and the communication that we use in the back. Like certain words that we would use instead of outside language.
A customer comes up to the register and places their order, and that's where the register person goes through and, like, helps answer questions and establishes the order that gets written down in our, like, specific way, and then the transaction is made, and then the orders get run to whatever station the order calls for. So if, like I said, there's a pizza, sub, and slice, it'll go to pies, subs, and slices. And then from there, based on the time, the orders get made and, like, pushed out depending on what time it is. So if it's like a 20-minute order, we'll get it out within 20 minutes or earlier, usually. And if it's a 10-minute order, we'll get it out in 10 minutes or earlier. And then from there, it gets reassembled at the serving counter by, I mean, ideally a serving person, but normally it's done by, like, the salads person or something, or the last person to finish the last item of food. And then it gets assembled, put onto their orderly trays, and then placed on the serving counter, and the order is called out. And bam. The person gets their food and is happy.
Alright. There's a big process to make it stay organized. We always make sure that the name is gotten, the phone number is gotten. Yes, sometimes, unfortunately, they don't, you know, get heard over the phone or anything like that. But we also make sure they're written on the right place on the ticket that we use, and also that they're run to the right station. And then even after the station, they have to be put on a rack in a certain place. So they stay organized to make sure we are always able to find that order.
I think what makes Dion's unique is the fact that there are so many opportunities within Dion's, like within the Dion community, to grow. Like, if you wanted to become an expert, you can. If you want to move up, you can, like, show that you want to do so, and then the people that are above you will allow those opportunities to fall into play.
Definitely. My name is Paige Bradley. I've been working here at Dion's for about 7 years and 4 months now. I have been an assistant manager, and then I have been an expert and also a training assistant. So you do not see in any other restaurants kids running around. Honestly, you don't. Like in a sit-down restaurant, you don't see kids running around other people and stuff like that. We brought that culture into our Dion's, into our company, actually. And it started from the very beginning. We've always been very big home and comfortable and family oriented. So I think that's what makes it unique, and people, they can relax here. Some people call it a second home. So.
Well, I'm a very people-oriented person, so one of the things that pretty much gets me coming to work whenever I'm scheduled is I know that, like, I've made some great friends here. Like, we are like a family unit. Like, we all depend on each other. We have our little inside jokes, and I think that's really cool. Like, to be able to, like, to not be afraid to come to work because of the people.